It's 3 for 12 Radio, and I'm looking at the face of Conor from Nothing But Thieves. Thanks for coming back on the show.
No worries. Thank you for having us. Thanks for having me.
It's been quite a year, because last year I've seen you guys on the Rock Werchter Festival in Belgium, a last-minute gig, and you nailed it. It was so good. Back then, July 2025, how far was this album?
I would say we were right in the thick of it. July 2025. We started writing it in April, May, so we would have had a few songs in there. I think we wouldn't have had Evolution by that point, but we had a few songs in there. But yeah, we finished it in October. It was quite a quick chunk of time, really, for us. But I think because we were off, we took some time off. Event finally, which we never do. We actually had more of like a compounded amount of time to do it. Normally, we're like on the road and like making ideas over like a year, but then coming home and finishing them. So it was different to have that sort of like short amount of time. But I think I preferred it, because you got to go home. My studio was 2 minutes away from my house, which is great.
Wow. When I listen to this song, Stray Dogs, it feels like the title track has to be the heart of everything of this era, right? Because you've said that it's inspired from the touring family. Why did Stray Dogs become the image that summed up this record?
That's a tricky question. It's one of those things that kind of unfolds as you write the record. Every single album we've done, you're 5, 6, 7 songs in, you're kind of figuring out where you're going. You start thinking about the aesthetics, you start thinking about the overall message, the overall arc of the message. And then we were going to call this album something different, but by the time we got to the end and how much this album really truly was about sort of our authentic journey and what meant something to us, and it's a play on what we deem authentic in the world and what we deem inauthentic and what's important to us. And then Stray Dogs is a song that summarizes our biggest love, which is our world, our project on the road, our writing, our touring, our team, our crew, everyone that's involved, our fans, and I think it just, after we'd written that, we were like, this just summarizes really what is the most important thing, and it's the experience of being in this band. So yeah, it made sense.
When I listened to the lyric "dreaming like a pack of stray dogs," it stuck with me, because sometimes the term stray dogs is conflicting, because you sing about being together, about being a team, but it also feels a little bit lost as well, or not fitting in maybe. What's that contradiction for you?
No, that's a good question. I mean, everyone ultimately is navigating their own path, aren't they? Everyone's an island, so to speak. And everyone has to figure out their life. But there's something about when we come together as a team and as a band, especially as a band, it's a really weird thing to be in. It's not normal in any capacity. It's your best friends that turn into your marriage, in a sense. You are five best mates that get married to each other, which is so strange. You have to navigate the ups and downs of everything together, and you have to hold this space for 4 other members of your life all the time. It's not like going to work and coming home and being like, I can kind of disconnect from my workmates. Yeah. This is like, these are my brothers, my family, and it's a marriage, because you have to love the ups and the downs, love the flaws, love the positives, and that in itself is part of the art and part of the business, because there are so many bands that can't do that, so many bands that don't want to do that. And that you hear horror stories of bands breaking up every record or wanting to break up. And I think part of the charm for us is we love and respect each other so much. We would do anything for each other, and we want to build each other up. That I do think it's a big secret sauce as to what has been our success, So, but for us, it is that feeling of, yeah, everyone can be their own island until you come together. We're all joint, if we don't want to get too spiritual on it, but we're all joint in some ways, and I think we all subconsciously know that, and it's a hard thing to figure out and express and look into. But that's why when we come together as people, that's where the magic happens, isn't it? So I think that's where it is for us. It's a celebration of how important that love is in our lives. Yeah.
We got Stray Dogs, which is a heavy banger. We got Baby Cool now, the new song, which we will talk about in a bit. Evolution. To me, it feels like a shifting again from the last album, which was more electronic, more Panic! Dead Club City, more politic records, I guess, in a way. This album seems to focus on who are my people. Is the focus shift in a way on this record as well for you?
Yeah, of course. I think we always intuitive or instinctively write against the last record. Keeps it fresh for us. We all, when we sat down to write the record, we just were like, do you want to do a rock record? Because I want to make a rock record. And everyone was like, fuck yeah, we want to make a rock record. It was just so intuitive. I just, live as well, like this raucousness and this sort of energy that it could collapse at any point. And I love that feeling. And I love the feeling of just vocally, having that sort of freedom of, I'm going to try this crazy raspy thing and it just could go terribly wrong, you know, and just the kind of wildness of how it is live. And we were like, can we take that and make that into a record, basically? Can we take what we do live and the energy and the freedom and the noise and the crazy things and the runs and the screams and just make that into a record? And I think that's what we achieved. That's what we wanted as a brief. We didn't have a set, it needs to sound like this or it needs to be this sort of genre. It was just, let's just write a live record, a very much band in a room record. And that was the outset as a goal. So yeah.
There's this new song, it's called Baby Cool. And to me, this is a crazy song as well on this record. It's much lighter than the first song, it's more loose. Where does Baby Cool sit within the Stray Dogs universe?
Yeah, it's cool. I actually think it's my favourite song, at least for now. I mean, I change my mind every 5 minutes because you can get fatigued of your own stuff. But I think what it is for me, and I was banging on about it to the boys for the whole time after we'd written it and going to record it, I just thought, I think what Nothing But Thieves tends to do well, and this is all in retrospection, is when we've not tried to make a song or like it needs to go down this lane and you just freely write, like you're in the present moment of that verse, where does it go? And like Dom just slowing it down and accelerating back into the chorus, into this sort of soulful, Buckley, sort of Blind Melon vocal melody, and then going into this huge sort of heavy garage band, Sonic Youth, you know, blow out the bass sort of thing. And then I look back and I'm like, that's what I think Nothing But Thieves does. It's just freedom to play around. And yes, and thematically it's talking about this character, this almost sort of Bowie, Janis Joplin, you know, cut through the sludge, the sort of most authentic side of the human race, and just looking at this character and just believing in that being the most wonderful, important thing in human civilization, is not following the pack and just being yourself. So it's a song around authenticity, inauthenticity, kind of imposter syndrome. It's a play around that, so that's how it fits thematically. But it's a song that's, like you said, lighter, but I feel it's fun, and it's really hard to find fun rock that still has an impact. And I think we've done that with this song. It hints to those sort of like old school 90s MTV video songs, you know. And the video is sick, by the way. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid and funny.